Let's pray. God, we beseech thee, Almighty God, members of this honorable house, that they may wisely deliberate for the good of this country and for the glory of thy holy name. Join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Pray be seated. This honorable house now convenes.
Item 3, oath of allegiance or affirmation of a new member. Item 4, confirmation of minutes.
The leader of government business.
Good morning to this honorable house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Welldale, St. George's, on Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026, at 9 a.m. be taken as read.
Honorable members, the question is that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Welldale, St. George's, on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, at 9 a.m. be taken as read. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. Leader of government business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to move that the minutes of the proceedings of the sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Welldale, St. George's, on Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026, at 9 a.m. be confirmed. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Welldale, St. George's, on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, at 9 a.m. be confirmed. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Item 5, messages from the Governor General. Item 6, announcements by Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Madam Assistant Clerk. Honorable members, I first of all wish to say that I've been advised that Honorable MP for St. Patrick East won't be with us today, Minister for Finance. He is out on state business. And Honorable MP for St. Patrick West, is also out on state business. I am in receipt of a bit of correspondence from the President of the Senate with respect to the possessory title amendment bill that was passed in this House and was seen and amended in the upper House on the 8th of April. Since we last met here, a number of bills have received the assent from the Governor General. The Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Amendment Bill 2026, the Banking Amendment Bill 2026, CARICOM Arrest Warrant 2026, Domestic Violence Amendment Bill 2026, and Trademarks Amendment Bill 2026, all of which have received the assent of the GG and are now into law. Today, April 28th, annually, the world celebrates International World Day for Safety and Health in the Workplace, that has declared by the UN since 2003. I also note that the Ministry of Health here in Grenada has announced Health Week. Honorable MP? Yes, we are now in the Health Week, which actually reminds us that we all need to pay special attention to our health, the health of ourselves, our families, and those who work with us and for us. And sadly, I wish to say in South, as the Honourable House, we regret the passing of Mr. Norman Gilbert, who was a permanent secretary at one point in his life. I recall him very well, and who, of course, has worked in his time very close with several ministers of government. On behalf of the Parliament of Grenada, I wish to extend to his family and relatives our deepest sympathy. He had been for a very long time a very prominent youth person in Grenada. Those are my announcements.
Item 7, presentation of petitions. Item 8, presentation of papers and reports from select committees. Item 9, unopposed private business. Item 10, questions.
Please proceed.
Item 11, urgent questions on the provisions of Standing Order number 21, notice of questions. Item 12, statements by ministers.
Wow, I see the lights of two MPs. The MP for St. Andrew Northwest has caught my eyes first, so I allow you to go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to everyone. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give some ministerial updates. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I'd like to express my profound sorrow and heartfelt sympathy on the passing of Mr. Norman Gilbert, a former staff member of the ministry and president of the Grenada Cricket Association. Mr. Gilbert was a committed servant of sports in Grenada whose leadership and dedication to cricket contributed significantly to the development of the game and the nurturing of young talent across our country. His service within the ministry further reflected his deep commitment to youth development and sporting advancement. On behalf of the ministry, I extend sincere condolences to his family, friends, the Cricket Association, and the wider sporting fraternity. May his soul rest in peace. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Youth and Sport is preparing to start Empower 5.0, which is a program aimed at providing a skill and employment opportunity for at-risk young men. Mr. Speaker, registration process starts today in the different parishes across Grenada, in St. John's, New Low Campus, Palmy St. John's, Wednesday, Beaton Community Center, Thursday, St. David's Community Center, Monday the 4th, North Bay Inn Conference Room, Main Street, Surtees, the 3rd floor, on Tuesday the 5th, St. Matt's Resource Center, on Wednesday the 6th, Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Thursday the 7th, the YWCA building in Grenville, and on Tuesday the 12th, Mohammed Conference Room for the young men of Carriacou. We encourage everyone, every young man who's outside there and is not engaged to register and get a skill. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Mental Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs continues to advance its mandate of promoting mental wellness, strengthening community-based care, and reducing stigma associated with mental health across our tri-island states. In this regard, we have made meaningful strides not only in public awareness but also in strengthening our systems and services. One such initiative was the successful hosting of the recent mental health jingle competition and award ceremony. This initiative formed part of the broader public health education strategy using creativity and youth engagement to normalize conversation around mental health. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to report that the Grenada Boys Secondary School emerged as the winner, with Presentation Brothers College securing second place. Notable, Mr. Speaker, we saw strong male participation, reinforcing the importance of engaging men and boys in mental health discussion. As part of the prize, the winning teams were given or will be given opportunity to professionally record their jingles, ensuring the messages continues to reach and impact a wider audience. Mr. Speaker, beyond awareness, the ministry has also been making tangible investment in strengthening the delivery of mental health services. We have commenced and continue to advance infrastructural improvement to our facilities, ensuring that they are suitable, therapeutic, and better equipped to provide quality care to our people. Equally significant, Mr. Speaker, this team now, we do have 6 doctors. So contrary in the past, there was only 2 general practitioners at Mongay Mental Hospital. I'm pleased to report that we now have 6 doctors at staff. Equally significant, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that we have 2 specialists. So we have a child psychologist, and we do have one for the adult there. And we do have child mental hospital services provided once a week at the General Hospital for young people with mental challenges. Mr. Speaker, sometimes we speak about mental health like it only affects the adult, but we are seeing that a number of our children are being affected, and so on our weekly clinics we see a number of people. This is taking care of all people, and so our government must be commended for that initiative. Mr. Speaker, the ministry continues its outreach effort, working alongside healthcare professionals, schools, community, and faith-based organizations to provide support, all intervention, and education. we recognize that mental health is a shared responsibility, and this partnership remains vital to building resilient communities. While we acknowledge the progress made, Mr. Speaker, we remain committed to doing more, expanding services, building capacity, and ensuring that mental health is treated with the same priority and urgency as physical health. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MP for St. Andrew. West, I now invite the Honorable MP for St. Andrew Southwest to take the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, a very pleasant good morning to all. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make two main statements. The first is that over the weekend, some 26 young Grenadians left for China for a 3-week seminar on diversified agricultural production models for Grenada. So they are right now in China, and they will learn about freshwater fish aquaponics. They will learn about aquaponic systems, and they will also learn about family farm development. And all that is geared towards ensuring that we are becoming self-sufficient and that we can produce the goods and services that we consume. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, after a long time of experimentation and trials, and having sent last year 7 Grenadians to Dominica on the technology for producing Irish potato, we experimented with 3 plots, one at Granborough, one at Maryville, and one at Upper Divisions in Irish potato. And my statement is, and I'm not saying that this is the first time we produce Irish potato in Grenada, but I'm saying that our experiments have been very successful. And that success is manifested in this parcel of Irish potato that I bring to Parliament this morning. Because I want to show the nation that in the Ministry of Agriculture, we are working to reduce the negative impact that technological shocks can have on our economy and our people by us being able to produce the goods that we consume ourselves. So yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture handed a parcel of our Irish potato made in Grenada. Made in Grenada. We handed a parcel of Irish potato made in Grenada to all members of Cabinet. And this morning, Mr. Speaker, I work with sufficient parcels, one for you and one for each member on the other side. And therefore, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, I would now like to deliver a parcel to each member on the other side so that they too can get a taste of the locally made Irish potato with work of the Ministry of Agriculture. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture. We have some young agronomists who are working in this area. I also want to commend CARDI, who are working with us as well, because CARDI is the Caribbean Research Development Institute. They are also working with us in this production. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that we're going to send another 7 Grenadians to Dominica again this year, because Dominica has the know-how, the technology for Irish potato production. In fact, for the first 3 months of the year, Dominica don't import Irish potato. They produce enough for domestic consumption. And I hope we could reach at that point, at some point in time. So I want to commend the staff. I want to commend CARDI But I also want to say, Mr. Speaker, that apart from Irish potato, we are experimenting in other crops. So presently we are experimenting in apples. Apples. Yes, Mr. Speaker, apples. We are experimenting in onions and garlic. And I hope time will come when I should be able to come to this parliament with parcels of apples, onion, and garlic to distribute made in Greda. But Mr. Speaker, you see, we have to put this thing in the historical context and in the broader context. Our foreparents, our forefathers, our early leaders, they went to Europe and they requested independence from the mother country. And they said to the mother country that the relation exists that you have now between us and them would never lead to our economic independence. And they asked for independence. They asked for political independence as a basis for achieving economic independence. And they had a strategy for the development of our region. And the strategy was called ISI, Import Substitution Industrialization. And their view was that many of the things that we import, we could have produced them ourselves. And therefore, guided by outstanding academics like Sir Alistair McIntyre of Grenada, Sridhar Ramphal of Guyana, Sir Otto Lewis of St. Lucia, William Dimas of Trinidad, Roger Rainford and Norman Govan of Jamaica, they put that ISI plan in place so that as a region we can produce the goods and services that we consume for ourselves. So what we're doing today, Mr. Speaker, and given the fact that where the world is today, with the supply shocks that we are now experiencing, what we're doing today is that we are giving new life. We are rejuvenating. We are making contemporary the strategy of our early leaders, and therefore we are fulfilling their vision of making our region economically independent and economically strong. And that's the context in which we must see this Irish potato being produced. So, Mr. Speaker, now with your permission, I will now hand, first of all, I will hand the
Honorable, I don't want you to be handing now. No, I don't want you to be handing now. I will tell you at what point.
All right, thank you.
I will tell you at what point I would allow you to do the handing, please. I will tell you at what point in the sitting. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. MP for Carrick-Wampini-Martinique, it's your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today I rise to provide this Honourable House with an update on a matter of cultural, economic and national importance. The revival and advancement of boat building in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. As many would be aware, the traditional boat building practice in Carriacou and Petite Martinique has been recognized internationally by UNESCO. This recognition, Mr. Speaker, is not just symbolic. It confirms that what our people have been doing for generations have been, or is rather, of global value and worth preserving. But Mr. Speaker, recognition alone is not enough. We must act to preserve, modernize, and monetize this heritage. Through a strategic partnership, Mr. Speaker, between the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Grenada's Ambassador for Investment, Ambassador Piero Zipoli, we have launched a boat building yard and a boat building school initiative in Carriacou. This initiative, Mr. Speaker, will help us to transfer skills, the boat building skills, ensuring that our young people can learn the craft. Economic opportunities, Mr. Speaker, will be created through jobs and new industries. Cultural preservation, protecting a rich tradition that defines that defines us or defines our identity. The first vessel, Mr. Speaker, the first vessel is under construction. And this vessel is being paid for by Ambassador Ziboli himself. And importantly, Mr. Speaker, this vessel will be heading to Germany next year. Mr. Speaker, we recently received excellent news that Grenada, through Carriacou, the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, has been formally invited to participate in Boat Dusseldorf 2027, one of the largest and most prestigious marine and water sport exhibition in the world. Mr. Speaker, this year, that event saw over 200,000 visitors. And next year, 2027, when the first boat has been built in our boat building school and boat yard, it will hopefully have more people there. Mr. Speaker, we got a complimentary 80 square meters exhibition space, an opportunity to showcase our traditional sailing vessel, a platform to promote Carriacou as a marine tourism and diving destination, and an opportunity to promote Grenada and Grenada's culture, and to access to global investors, buyers, and industry professionals. So this is big news for us in Carriacou. This is not just an exhibition, Mr. Speaker. This is a global gateway for markets, for traditional boats building. It positions Carriacou not just as a cultural site, but as a producer of high-value maritime products. Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, my advisor recently traveled to St. Bart's to represent Grenada. And his mission, and he traveled to St. Bart's at the St. Bart's Regatta, which was recently held over the weekend. And yes, one of the things is to promote Grenada, to promote Carriacou boat building tradition, and to identify new markets for the locally built boats. And Mr. Speaker, interestingly, while over there, 5 of the boats that participated in the St. Bart's Regatta were made in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. That is proof that our craftsmanship is respected, our boats are competitive, and they are already an existing international market. Mr. Speaker, this aligns with Vision 75. This initiative aligns directly with the vision, Mr. Speaker, and our national development goals: economic diversification, moving beyond traditional sectors, export growth, building and selling Grenadian-made products internationally. Youth development, Mr. Speaker, training the next generation in skilled trades. Culture, industry, monetizing heritage in a sustainable way. Resilience and self-reliance, reducing dependency on imports. And Mr. Speaker, I hope that those that are planning to buy luxury boats or sailing boats or any boat at all, you not necessarily import your boat from Miami or wherever, but you can look to Carriacou in the future to purchase your luxury boats. That's the intention, Mr. Speaker. The bigger picture, Mr. Speaker, is that we are not just building boats, we are building an industry, a training ecosystem, a tourism product, and a global brand for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. From UNESCO's recognition to international exhibition in Germany, to market expansion in St. Bart's, Carriacou's boat building industry is no longer just history. It's the future. I'm happy to also report that this boat will be launched in July, and I'm using the opportunity to invite all of you to the boat launching and, of course, to experience the traditional way the Carriacou locally built boats are launched. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, MP, for Carriacou and Peter Martinique, and I now invite the Honourable MP for South St. George.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to this Honourable House. Mr. Speaker, this morning I rise to share something very practical and very important for the people we serve. Too often we hear our citizens say, I'm just trying to make ends meet, or I'm not sure how to get ahead. And the reality is, Mr. Speaker, many of our people are hardworking, but they have not always been given the guidance, the proper guidance needed to manage their finances and access real opportunities. That is why, Mr. Speaker, on Wednesday, 29th April, the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation will be hosting a financial literacy and management training at the Pastoral Center in St. John. This is not a session for experts alone. This is for every Grenadian who want to better manage their money and improve their lives. Mr. Speaker, participants will receive practical, easy to understand guidance on money management, the importance of insurance, how to position themselves to win contracts, and how to access business loans. These are real issues people face daily, and we are bringing real solutions directly to them. Mr. Speaker, we will also be ensuring that persons understand how to benefit from key government initiatives. There will be presentations on how to access Build Back Better 2.0 and our special project housing program, giving individuals and their families a clearer pathway to improving their living conditions. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, this is just the beginning. This financial literacy training will be rolled out across all parishes, including Carriacou and Petite Martinique, so that no community is left behind. The training is open to the public, and I want to encourage everyone, young people, small businesses, parents, and anyone looking to take better control of their finances to come out and take advantage of this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we cannot be satisfied with a situation where people remain stuck simply because they were never shown a better way. Education, especially practical education like this, is what turns effort into progress. It is what helps a young person move from an idea to a business. A family move from surviving to planning, and a community move from uncertainty to stability. If we fail to equip our people, Mr. Speaker, with knowledge, we risk leaving them stagnant. But when we invest in educating them, we unlock potential, we build confidence, and we create a nation that is moving forward together. Not a few, but everyone. That is why Mr. Speaker, initiatives like this is important, not just for today, but for the future we are shaping. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP for South St. George. And before we proceed, I pause here to acknowledge that we do have a new clerk in the chair. I forgot to say that in my announcements. So just support at this point to acknowledge Mr. Finley Jeffrey. I now invite the leader of government business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to congratulate the new clerk in his position, and I want to make a brief ministerial statement, joining my voice, Mr. Speaker, with the rest of hardworking children. I too want to join with these children to demonstrate that we have been working. Mr. Speaker, I wish to, on behalf of the Ministry of Health and the Government of Grenada, express our deepest gratitude to SMILES GCP for the exceptional service provided to our nation over the past week. This year, Mr. Speaker, we are fortunate to have 30 volunteers from Canada and the US, mainly Grenadians in the diaspora, who returned to contribute to the development of our country. This time around, Mr. Speaker, we had 4 dentists, 6 dental hygienists, 3 dental assistants, 3 sterilization specialists, 2 dental nurses, 7 administrative or documentation personnel, and 5 floor runners. They were at the Tivoli Health Center, I believe it was, and they performed a number of dental interventions. Mr. Speaker, the estimated cost of the services rendered during the time was valued at $234,639. That's $234,639 worth of dental interventions over the past week. They attended to 426 patients, 252 hygienist interventions, 320 fillings, and 186 extractions. Mr. Speaker, all of this was done at no cost to the patients. For many years, Mr. Speaker, 8 years in total, these services were rendered to our people for 8 years. So we really want to demonstrate our appreciation to SMILES GCP. So these are not merely procedures, Mr. Speaker. These are actually life-changing interventions that relieve pain and restore functions and renew self-confidence. This is what this is helping to do for our people. And as Minister for Health, Mr. Speaker, I also wish to acknowledge the value of this partnership with SMILES GCP. Sustainable health systems, Mr. Speaker, are built not merely on policy and infrastructure, but through these collaborative efforts with organizations like SMILES GCP. Partners who complement our national efforts and strengthen our capacity to serve our people. I offer, Mr. Speaker, special thanks to SMILES GCP, the Rotary Club of Grenada, the Royalton Hotel, Mr. Speaker, who provided accommodation free of cost, and Dr. Festina Hamlet, our Chief Dental Surgeon, and also and her team, and also, Mr. Speaker, our Prime Minister, who through his intervention assisted in getting accommodation for all 30 people free of cost. Mr. Speaker, just want to talk very briefly on Vaccination Week in the Americas. Grenada joins the rest of the world in commemorating Vaccination Week in the Americas. I offer commendation to our staff at the Ministry of Health for their tireless efforts in ensuring that the population is vaccinated. I am proud to report that significant improvements in Grenada's vaccination landscape, as recognized by the Pan American Health Organization assessment, through our sustained efforts, have increased routine childhood vaccination coverage from 78% to now 91%. That is a big plus for us, Mr. Speaker. Over the last 3 years, we've been able to see a significant improvement in vaccination rates. We've been also able to strengthen our cold chain system to ensure that vaccine quality across all of our parishes are lifted, quality is lifted, and that quality is maintained. We've also been able, through this process, Mr. Speaker, to expand our network of vaccination sites from 12 sites, Mr. Speaker, to 23 locations island-wide, including Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Mr. Speaker, we are able to train 150 healthcare workers in vaccination, communication, and administration. And that is pivotal in helping us to be able to administer the vaccines to the communities and to get buy-in. We're able to launch our community-based education program, reaching over 15,000 families. In PAHO's recent report, specifically, they commended Grenada for our innovative mobile vaccination unit, or units that have reached previously underserved communities. And so, Mr. Speaker, again, I just want to offer my commendation to the staff of the ministry as we continue to try to ensure that our entire population is vaccinated so that the diseases that confronted us in the past will not return to our shores. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MP for St. George Southeast. Honorable Prime Minister.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. And I wish to join in offering my congratulations to the clerk and to wish him well in his tenure at Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I wish to provide a brief ministerial statement in relation to the GRIP project, the Grenada Resilience Improvement Project, in relation to 3 components that affects the eastern coast of Grenada, and in particular the eastern main road. Yesterday morning, attended by myself, the Honourable Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwest, and Minister of Education, the Honourable David Andrew, together with officials from the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation and the Ministry of Infrastructure. 3 contracts were signed to pursuant to the GRIP project, and these contracts relate to first the Balthazar Bridge, and the other 2 relate to revetment work along the Subies coast. In the case of the Balthazar Bridge, Mr. Speaker, the contract was awarded to General Earth Movers Limited, or what is commonly known as GEM. It is a company from Trinidad and Tobago. The value of the contract sum is $23,808,523.57, and that sum is inclusive of VAT, and it's in East Caribbean dollars. It is the cost of material, labor, and other resources required to reconstruct or construct a new Balthazar Bridge in the parish of St. Andrew. As we are aware, Mr. Speaker, when it rains, perhaps even moderately, water comes over the bridge, and it makes it obviously impossible, and if you do try to pass, highly dangerous to do so. I recall not so long ago, someone foolhardily attempted to pass over the Balthazar Bridge while the water was coming over and got swept away, and regrettably a child perished in the process. So, Mr. Speaker, we recognize the need to ensure that the bridge is built in a manner that makes it a lot safer and makes it able to withstand the challenges posed by the weather and the climatic conditions. And so we expect, Mr. Speaker, as we indicated to the contractor at the signing ceremony, the duration of construction is expected to be 13 months. And so we expect that in a little over a year, we would have a new Balthazar Bridge. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank in particular the Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, because his team has really led a lot on this project, particularly with some of the underground pre-contract and pre-construction matters that had to be addressed, including the relocation of persons in the Balthazar area to other areas in St. Andrew to facilitate the construction of the bridge. The second component of the project where a contract has been awarded, again to General Earth Movers Limited of Trinidad and Tobago. The value of the contract is $4,338,000, and this sum excludes that. It is for coastal protection, rock revetment work in Subies, St. Andrew. And I think we all know challenges with the coast in Subies that the residents of Subies face when the sea or coast is eroded and when the sea comes in. The second component of the project, Mr. Speaker, is also coastal revetment and a step revetment at Subies as well. The value of this contract is $11,208,467.88, excluding that, and this contract is awarded to Construction and Industrial Equipment Limited, and similarly, this is an inclusion company, Mr. Speaker, and similarly, this contract is expected to take 13 months. So in total, Mr. Speaker, in US dollars, the value of the GRIP project for these components is US $15 million, or roughly approximately 40 million EC dollars. I just also wish to highlight, Mr. Speaker, since we're on the Eastern Main Road and merely in the interest of time, one additional detail in relation to the Marquis Bridge. The designs for this bridge, Mr. Speaker, have been completed. And again, Marquis is a bridge where if you get substantial rainfall, you run the risk of flooding, as well as the fact that portions of the bridge have already begun to break away from the road, and anyone driving on it would realize that. And clearly, this is the main artery between St. David, St. Andrew into the town of Grenville. And if the bridge were to be further compromised, it would pose significant inconvenience to everyone in those communities. So the designs for the bridge have been completed. They have been reviewed, and the tendering process is taking place. There is one relocation that is necessary. There's a workshop currently located in the path of what will have to be a temporary bypass bridge. The nature of the site is such that we will have to erect a temporary bridge first, and then do the actual bridge building. Discussions are ongoing with the person who would be impacted and who has to be relocated. And so we expect that once that temporary bypass bridge is erected and the bidding and tendering process is completed, that we should also have a contract signed for work to be done in Marquis. So for now, Mr. Speaker, I would end here on those updates in relation to the eastern coast and the eastern main road of Grenada. Thank you very much. Main roads, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Proceed.
Item 13, personal explanations. Item 14,
Honorable MP for Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak on a matter with which you're well aware, something that took place in Grenada just over a week ago, and that was it was a workshop that was held, organized by Parliamericas and UN Women. And that was held here on the 16th and the 17th of this month. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak on this matter because of the importance of the topics that were discussed. It was held primarily for parliamentarians in the Caribbean, and it was well attended by parliamentarians, I think, from all of the countries in the Caribbean. And it was pleasing to see that the Speaker and the President of the Senate attended both days of the conference and made very, very invaluable contributions to the discussions. Mr. Speaker, but I want to speak on it because this matter impacts a significant portion of our population, largely women, and it dealt with legislations, policy, and financing of subsidized care system. It dealt largely with care, and the other matters also contributed towards the topic of care legislations and so on. So I'll just mention briefly the care part of it, which dealt with paid or unpaid care. And it dealt largely with the providers of care. So whether they are nurses, nursing assistants, whether they're cleaners in private homes or in public spaces, or whether they take care of persons in the private homes or their families. We know women form a significant percentage of the caregivers in Grenada and the world over. And so it dealt with matters, for example, the issue of care of the caregiver, whether they, especially those who worked in their own home, taking care of parents, relatives, and children. It may seem an easy job, but it involves the work of the caregiver significantly, and oftentimes these people do not get time off for emotional recovery and stability and to look after themselves. And therefore, that was a very important topic for all of the members. The different countries are at different stages in care. Some do more than us, some do less than us, but it was very informative what they did and how they did it. They found innovative ways to do, and I trust that at some point in time, we as parliamentarians in this House and in the other place can get an opportunity to look at some of the recommendations that were made and look at what we can do in addition to what we have already done. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to beg your indulgence. I have a summary of the outcomes of that session, and so I would like to distribute that to each of the members here, since many were not able to attend, and I think that topic is so important. I want to, so apart from the care of the caregivers, I also want to speak to briefly parental leave, which was something that was discussed. I think in Grenada it is well established that women are entitled to parental leave
for 3 months, that is 12 weeks. That is common in most other countries. There are few, very few, who have increased from 12 to 14 weeks, and member states were encouraged to look at an increase for women because the physical and emotional stress involved with early parenting, psychological stress as well, are well known, and it is thought that maybe we could look at an increase, which is why I circulate this paper to ensure that our members are well aware of that move by the Caribbean. I think there have been discussions in Grenada as well to move to the 14 weeks, and I strongly support that. But also, very interestingly, paternal leave, which is what men get. And we have not started this as yet, but I know too that there has been talks in the ministry on it, and I want to urge that we do consider that, because when the mother needs a little break, then the father should be there to assist as well in taking care of the baby. So I hope we can look at this increase in maternal leave and also looking at paternal leave. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to urge that we, in looking at the implementation or the possibility of implementing paternal leave, that we also look at a paradigm shift, a shift in our culture as to who should take care of the baby and who should do certain things. I think we still have that divide in what work is essentially the male work and what work is essentially the female work. So we may find that the men may get paternal leave, but they may take the time doing other things rather than assisting the mother. So we would have to do, no, not all men would do that, but we do see that in our country. Let us be realistic. And that is one of the things that was raised in the meeting. So I hope we can look at some of the recommendations that are passed, and I hope through you, Mr. Speaker, and through the President of the Senate, of the other place, that we can have a sit down to look at it and get, if not all of our parliamentarians, the majority, to look at these matters, and so that it can inform our legislation as well, because we do know that there are some matters that impact women differently to men, and most times the legislations are generic, one fit, one cut, one size, and it has to look at the differences between male and female so that everyone gets some equity and equality in terms of what the state has to offer people. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and I look forward to further discussions on this matter.
Thank you, MP for St. Mark.
Item 14, motions. Item 15, bills.
Of government business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to speak on item 14, motions. Proceed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak in respect of resolution for the purposes of Section 107, subsection 2 of the Representation of the People's Act, Cap 286A. I wish to propose this resolution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this resolution provides for the representation of the people election symbol amendment regulation 2026, which seeks to amend the representation of the people symbol regulation 286, the principal regulations, to insert a new symbol to be used on ballot papers. Mr. Speaker, the Governor General is empowered by law by virtue of Section 107.
Honorable, you want to read the resolution first?
Just read it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just giving the background. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. All right, resolution for the purposes of Section 107, subsection 2 of the Representation of the People's Act, Cap 286. Whereas it is provided by Section 107, subsection 1 of the Representation of the People's Act, Cap 286A, hereinafter referred to as the Act, that the Governor General may make regulations generally for giving effect to the provisions of the Act. Whereas Section 107, subsection 1, subsection C, provides that the Governor General may make regulations prescribing the symbol to be used on every ballot paper and the mode of allocation of such symbol to candidates, whereas Section 107, subsection 2, provides that regulations made under the Act are subject to affirmative resolution, whereas regulations have been made to insert a new symbol to be used on the ballot paper under the Representation of the People Election Symbol Regulation Cap 286A. And whereas it is now expedient that the Representation of the People Election Symbol Amendment Regulation 2026 attached hereto as a schedule to be approved by the House of Representatives, now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 107, Section 2 of the Act, the Representation of the People Election Symbol Amendment Regulation 2026 be now approved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader of Government Business. Honorable members, the resolution read, resolution for the purposes of Section 107, subsection 2 of the Representation of the People's Act, Cap 286A. Whereas it is provided by Section 107, subsection 1 of the Representation of the People's Act, Cap 286A, hereinafter referred to as the Act, that the Governor General may make regulations generally for giving effect to the provision of the Act. Whereas Section 107, subsection 1C provides that the Governor General may make the regulations prescribing symbols to be used on every ballot paper and a mode of allocation of such symbols to candidates. And whereas Section 107, subsection 2 provides that the regulation made under Act are subject to affirmative resolution. Whereas regulations have been made to insert a new symbol to be used on the ballot paper under the Representation of the People Election Symbols Regulation Cap 286A. And whereas it is now expedient that the Representation of the People Election Symbols Amendment Regulation 2026 attached hereto as a schedule to be approved by the House of Representatives. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 107, subsection 2 of the Act, the Representation of the People Election Symbols Amendment Regulations 2026 be now approved. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not exactly sure.
The details you provided?
Approach the chair, please.
Approach the bench, please. Approach the bench. business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this resolution provides for the representation of the People's Election Symbol Regulation 2026, which seeks, Mr. Speaker, to amend the representation of the People's Act by providing a new symbol. Mr. Speaker, in this regard, the symbol that is being proposed is that of the compass. And so, Mr. Speaker, the schedule of the principal regulation is now amended by inserting after number 39, the symbol, the compass. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of Government Business. Honorable members, you have seen the resolution. You have listened to the Leader of Government Business. We now put it to the vote. Whereas it is provided by Section 107, Section 1, of the Representation of the People Act, Cap 286A, hereinafter referred to as the Act, that the Governor General may make regulation general for giving effect to the provisions of the Act. And whereas Section 107, subsection 1C, provides that the Governor General may make regulations prescribing the symbols to be used on every ballot paper, and that the mode of allocation of such symbols to the candidates. Whereas Section 107, subsection 2 provides that the regulations made on the Act are subject to affirmative resolution, and whereas regulations have been made to insert a new symbol to be used on the ballot paper under the Representation for the People Election Symbols Regulations, Cap 286A. And whereas it is not expedient that the Representation of the People Election Symbols Amendment Regulation 2026 attached hereto as a schedule be approved by the House of Representatives. Now therefore be resolved that pursuant to Section 107, subsection 2 of the Act, the Representation of the People Election Symbols Amendment Regulations 2026 be now approved. All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Item 15, bills.
All right. Honorable members, as I indicated in my announcements, we have received a letter from the President of the Senate. The message says the Senate at its meeting on April 8, 2026, passed the Possessory Title Amendment Bill 2026 with an amendment. Right? So it was passed by the Senate with an amendment. The following amendment was made to reach the desired concurrence of the House of Representatives. So that bill, the possessory title bill that was passed here, went through the other place and was also passed with an amendment. I will now invite the clerk to read that amendment to the House and we have to contemplate the amendment. If we agree with it, then we vote in agreement. Else, it would have to be considered and an action by this House taken on it. So I now invite the clerk to read out the exact amendment as sent by the other place.
Clause 19 to be deleted. Clause 19 seeks to repeal subsections 1 and 2 of Section 34 of the Principal Act to remove the provisions relating to fixed fees for services by attorneys at law provided under the Possessory Titles Act 2016. Therefore, there would now be 21 clauses instead of 22.
All right, honorable members, this is what has been proposed by the other place, the Senate to us, that clause 19 be deleted as stated. It's before us for consideration. I don't know if anybody wants to make any comment, else we just put it to the vote. They're proposing that clause 19 be deleted. All right, I sense we can just vote on it, right? They are seeking the concurrence or the opposite of it of the House on the particular matter of clause 19. So, honorable members, the question is that clause 19 from the Possessory Title Amendment Bill be deleted as proposed by the other place. All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. It is carried. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. Thank you. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to introduce for its first reading a bill for an act shortly entitled Cruise Ship Visitors Levy Amendment Bill 2026.
A bill which seeks to amend the Cruise Ship Visitors Levy Act, Chapter 74B, the Principal Act, shortly entitled Cruise Ship Visitors Levy Amendment Bill 2026.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable the bill to be taken through all its stages at this sitting. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable the bill to be taken through all stages at this sitting. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. I think the ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the second reading of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a second time. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Cruise Ship Visitor Levy Amendment Bill 2026. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to amend the Cruise Ship Visitor Levy Act, Chapter 74B, the Principal Act, to increase the rate of the levy imposed on cruise ship visitors to Grenada from $3 to $7 in respect of each visitor. Mr. Speaker, this particular bill contains 3 clauses. Clause 1 seeks to provide for the short title of the Act and for its prospective commencement date, which is scheduled for the 1st of October, the beginning of the cruise ship season, 2026. Clause 2, Mr. Speaker, seeks to amend Section 2 of the Principal Act to insert a definition of the term minister, which is now defined as the minister with responsibility for finance. Clause 3, Mr. Speaker, seeks to amend Section 3 of the Principal Act to increase the rate of the levy imposed on cruise ship visitors to Grenada from the $3 currently levied to $7 in respect of each visitor, and to empower the Minister of Finance to vary the rate of this levy by order. This bill, Mr. Speaker, is a representation of the need to align Grenada with its regional competitors whilst maximizing revenue. This levy, Mr. Speaker, has been at that rate for quite a number of years. As a matter of fact, our rate is the lowest in the Caribbean. And so it is time enough that we make the necessary adjustment and align the levy accordingly. A levy, Mr. Speaker, that is now being imposed is still pretty low, but it is good and sufficiently competitive. The bill introduces amendments to ensure that the levy imposed on cruise ship visitors to Grenada is adjusted accordingly and provides flexibility for future adjustment by empowering the minister with responsibility for finance to increase or vary the rates as the case may be by order. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Leader of Government Business. All right, I take it that there's no other contribution.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, this, of course, is a very straightforward bill, and as such, there is no other contribution to this bill, and so I want to now commend the bill to the House. Thank you, and also thank members for your silent support.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act shortly titled the Cruise Ship Visitors Levy Amendment Bill 2026.
Leader of Government Business.
So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House resolves itself into a committee of the whole House to consider the bill clause by clause. Thank you.
Honourable members, the question is that this Honorable House resolves itself into a committee of the whole House to consider the bill clause by clause. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. This Honorable House is now in committee.
Clause 2, amendment of Section 2 of the Principal Act.
Honorable members, the question is that Clause 2 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 3, amendment of Section 3 of the Principal Act.
Honorable members, the question is that Clause 3 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 1, short title and commencement.
Honorable members, the question is that Clause 1 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. You have government business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I beg to move that the House resumes and the chairman of the committee report progress on the bill. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the House resumes and that the chairman of the committee reports progress on the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. This Honorable House now resumes. I have to report that the bill was considered by a committee of the whole House and passed without amendment. You have government business?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move that the chairman's report be adopted.
Honorable members, the question is that the chairman's report be adopted. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. You have government business?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the third reading of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a third time. Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a third time and pass. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act shortly entitled the Cruise Ship Visitors Levy Amendment Bill 2026.
You have government business?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to introduce for first reading a bill for an act shortly entitled Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026.
A bill which seeks to amend the Value Added Tax Act, Chapter 333A, the Principal Act, to provide for the imposition of value-added tax on digital services supplied to consumers in Grenada, including those supplied by non-resident suppliers and electronic marketplaces, shortly entitled Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026.
You have government business?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable this bill to be taken through all its stages at this sitting. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable the bill to be taken through all stages at this sitting. All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. I think the ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the second reading of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a second time. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026. Mr. Speaker, in keeping with government's fiscal sustainability and revenue mobilization objectives, Cabinet approved the introduction of VAT on digital services under the World Bank Sustainable Development Financing Policy. The VAT Amendment Bill 2026 is indeed a holistic representation of these efforts and features enhancement to the value-added tax framework to address the taxation of digital services within the state of Grenada, incorporating internationally accepted best practices, including the application of the destination principle, the application of the destination principle. The bill introduces a comprehensive regime to ensure that the digital services supplied to consumers in Grenada, including those supplied by non-residents and through electronic marketplaces, are subject to VAT. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026 seeks to amend the VAT Act, Chapter 333A, which is the Principal Act, to modernize the value-added tax regime by incorporating provisions for the taxation of digital services, establishing rules for determining the place of the supply of these services, introducing a revenue change mechanism or revenue charge mechanism for business recipients, providing for the registration and compliance obligations of non-resident suppliers, and providing for related and transitional matters. Mr. Speaker, this bill contains 11 clauses. Clause 1, Mr. Speaker, treats with the title of the bill, and Clause 2 of the bill provides for the amendment of Section 2 of the Principal Act by introducing certain key definitions, including the consumer, digital services, electronic marketplace, and non-resident supplier. Clause 3, Mr. Speaker, amends Section 6 of the Principal Act to clarify that digital services are treated as supplies for the purposes of VAT. Clause 4, Mr. Speaker, inserts a new section, Section 6A, 8A, in the Principal Act to provide for the treatment of supplies made through electronic marketplace, including circumstances in which the marketplace operator is treated as a supplier for value-added tax purposes. Clause 5, Mr. Speaker, inserts a new section, Section 9A to the Principal Act, to provide for the registration and compliance framework applicable to non-resident suppliers of digital services, including simplified registration procedures. Clause 6 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, speaks to Section 17, amendment of Section 17 of the Principal Act to ensure that the existing time of supply rule applied to supplies of digital services, including subscription-based services where each payment is treated separately. Clause 7, Mr. Speaker, seeks to amend Section 18 of the Principal Act to establish rules for determining the place of supply of digital services based on the location of the consumer, including the use of specified indicators. Clause 8 of the bill seeks to insert a new section, Section 22A of the Principal Act, to introduce a reverse charge mechanism for digital services supplied by non-resident suppliers to registered persons within the state of Grenada. Clause 9 of the bill amends Section 43 of the Principal Act to clarify the record-keeping obligations of non-resident suppliers, including the requirement to maintain adequate record and make them available to the comptroller upon request. Clause 10, Mr. Speaker, amends Section 67 of the Principal Act to expand the regulation-making powers of the minister to support the implementation and administration of VAT on digital services. And the final clause, Mr. Speaker, 11, provides for the saving and transitional provision to facilitate the implementation of the new regime, including transitional arrangement for non-resident suppliers and the treatment of existing digital services within the state of Grenada. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Leader of Government Business. Honorable MP for St. Andrew Northeast.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my contribution on this bill that seeks to amend the value-added tax by including VAT on digital services. And Mr. Speaker, let me say from the outset that we understand that we are in a digital economy, a digital era, and that is how the world is running at this time. And I also understand the need for government to strengthen its fiscal measures, fiscal policies. And so, Mr. Speaker, but when we speak about value-added tax, which has a fundamental principle that the impact of these tax always fall on the final consumer, we cannot only consider this tax as the revenue it would generate for our country, but we must also look at it on the burden it can have on our people, the final consumers. So, Mr. Speaker, we know that cost of living at this time is a burden for our people. Things are expensive. And we, as Grenadians, we use the online platforms not as luxuries, but as necessities. So I'm thinking about the small businesses, the young content creators who make use of these digital services as a income revenue stream for them, some as additional income. Now, it means that they would be charging additional for these services, and that can deny some consumers access. So while I understand the need to increase our revenue streams, we must look at how it's going to impact the consumers who access these services. And while it's going to increase the cost of these services on consumers, it would also affect these small businesses because there will be loss of business and so. This bill also, Mr. Speaker, needs to be more publicized so our content creators or marketers who use these platforms can be aware as to how this tax will affect them and the business. I just wanted to make that contribution, understanding principle of VAT, that the burden always falls on the final consumers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MP for St. Andrew North East. Leader of His Majesty Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to just emphasize the point that was made that should not be trivialized. So, Speaker, anything that would add a burden to the people in this very difficult time, anything that's going to require consumers to pay more at this time, I think really requires deep thought, deep assessment of the implications that it would have. And so, Mr. Speaker, I totally support the MP for St. Andrew North East. As a matter of fact, I thought that this would be something that would have far more consultation and that this would be something that maybe first reading to allow for greater public participation in the discussion. Because as indicated, this can have serious implication. People who are in small businesses, people who depend on these services to get by. And not only that, the average person who actually take advantage of digital services that are available. And, you know, there's always been a policy position on this, that you want to make those services more accessible. We're in a modern world. And so you want to restrict absolutely in no way people's ability to access services digitally. And of course we understand, as we said, and we always have to strike a balance with regards to revenue for government, but we also have to consider timing. We have to consider development and where are we as it relates to that particular area of concern. How are we advancing technologically? In a world where we're moving at lightning speed, we want to consider where is Grenada in that race, right? And so if we are going to take any action at all that could hinder our advancement in this area, I would say, you know, we should be very cautious about especially the how we do this. Over the weekend, there's been a lot of conversation about content creators. There's been a lot of conversation about technology and AI and all of those things. And so we want to ensure that whatever we're doing here is corresponding in a serious way with the advancement that we want to see in this area. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe we need to have far more conversation on how do we support our content creators? How do we support those people in the technological area that are looking at this as a means of survival? People are looking at this as a means of developing their own businesses. People are looking at this as an opportunity without an added cost that they can access certain services. As was indicated as well, there's absolutely no doubt that this cost is one that's going to be passed on to the final user. And we know the challenges that our people are already facing with regards to the cost of living. And I want to make the point that we have always been consistent, that we know what's happening globally. We understand what's happening globally. You have to be dead not to understand. But we are saying the actions that we take locally must send a message that we do understand. That because the cost of goods and services are increasing so drastically, we do not want to add to the burden locally. We do not want to take action that would further create hardship for persons, whoever they are. And so I really wish, Mr. Speaker, that we would reconsider and we would probably take this first reading and delay any further action that is going to bring further financial hardship. We understand that this is monies that the government wants to collect to add to the government coffers. I would suggest maybe we need to look more at how do we manage what we have. How do we look at our spending patterns in government rather than trying to take more from those who don't have. So I strongly suggest, Mr. Speaker, that we reconsider that we want to go through all stages with this particular bill today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Leader of His Majesty Opposition. I see the light of the MP for South, St. George.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to address directly the claim by the opposition that the value-added tax amendment bill will automatically lead to higher prices to the final consumer. Mr. Speaker, the assertion is not a legal conclusion drawn from the bill, but a speculative economic prediction. Mr. Speaker, the bill does not set retail prices. It does not instruct businesses on what to charge consumers. Prices in the marketplace are determined by a combination of factors including competition, operational costs, supply chains, and business strategy, not solely a tax bill. Let me just say that. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, while VAT is a consumption tax, it is important to understand that the presence of VAT does not automatically translate into higher consumer prices across the board. In many markets, businesses absorb part or all of tax adjustments to remain competitive, particularly in sectors such as digital services, where pricing is global and highly sensitive. Mr. Speaker, the opposition has not identified any specific clause in the bill that increases the VAT rate or introduces a new tax burden on digital services that did not previously exist. Without that, the claim of inevitable price increases is assumptive rather than evidential. Mr. Speaker, we must also be careful not to misrepresent tax policy to the public. A VAT amendment may involve administrative updates, clarification of taxable supplies, or alignment with modern economic activity, none of which automatically equates to higher prices at the point of sale. So, Mr. Speaker, it's important to note that in a competitive economy, the transmission of tax changes into final prices is not automatic. It is not uniform and not guaranteed. It depends on market behavior, not just laws. Therefore, the statement that this bill will increase prices for consumers is not established by the text before this House today. And Mr. Speaker, just saying because now the laws have changed that prices will increase. Prices may increase, but there are other factors in the market, Mr. Speaker, that may affect if price increase, decrease, or stays the same. Thank you.
Thank you, MP for South St. George. Is it your light that is still on? Thank you. Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support the bill. The implications, Mr. Speaker, is that digital services and digital goods are becoming a significant part of economic activity within Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique. The failure to not acknowledge that and have that reflected in broadening the scope of services within the context of the digital economy to ensure that value-added tax is reflected and captured and paid within that sector would be a significant systemic and is currently a significant systemic risk to fiscal stability of Grenada. So, Mr. Speaker, it's always important to emphasize that the taxes which are collected from the citizens go right back to the citizens of the country. And it's important for us to appreciate that in the context of digital services in particular, that a large part of these services emanate from outside of Grenada. And we have to ensure that from the context of the country's tax fiscal sovereignty, that we are able to capture and charge VAT on those services so that the people of Grenada could benefit from this. And so, Mr. Speaker, as part of agreed policy reforms with our international partners, including the World Bank, this is something that the Minister of Finance, who is regrettably absent today, Mr. Speaker, and the team at the Ministry of Finance have agreed to pursue, and the Cabinet has approved, to ensure that this happens. Because you see, Mr. Speaker, when we go to our international partners and ask for concessional financing, grants, concessional loans, etc., the first question people are going to ask is, show me your fiscal position. Show me efforts that you are making to ensure that your fiscal position is sound and that you're actually collecting the taxes that you ought to collect, first and foremost. And if what you present to them is entire sectors of your society, completely untaxed, not even covered, simply because, obviously, technology has changed, and hitherto, most goods, well, certainly goods would have been very tangible and physical goods, and services were the traditional services like tourism, etc. I don't think anybody says don't charge VAT on hotel rooms, don't charge VAT on airplane tickets, etc. Obviously, we have to find the right rate to make sure that it is competitive and that we can collect the tax. And it's the same that applies to digital services, Mr. Speaker. If we don't tax, let's take a perfect example, Mr. Speaker, in the form in which digital services happens. Let's take the Airbnb industry. Now, the good that is provided is a home. The service that is provided is accommodation. The person who is doing so directly through the internet and is paying funds to someone who receives those funds. You pay the person here in Grenada who utilizes the feature of the Airbnb platform, obviously pays a fee for doing so that the customer comes to the marketplace, which is the Airbnb marketplace, which is completely virtual, and then I provide the physical good in Grenada. Mr. Speaker, that is a business. Significant revenue is passing. The exchange of goods is passing. If we do not put the government office in a position where through that Airbnb platform, we say to them, you Airbnb, you see, Mr. Speaker, this is not as simple as we think it is. It is not just a question of the Grenadian who gets the revenue from the person who comes to the Grenadian's house or Airbnb facility. It's the Airbnb platform itself, which is making millions of dollars in commissions and fees because Grenadians, non-Grenadians, diaspora people are using their platform. The services are being exchanged, the goods are being provided in Grenada. But the government collects no revenue from Airbnb, the entity itself. So it is not so much about focusing on the end user, but it is focusing on these significant non-Grenadian based entities, but that are collecting revenue from services being provided in Grenada in significant amounts that we have to be able to address this. So let's take an example, Mr. Speaker, of all of the streaming services that you pay for. The data suggests that billions of dollars leave the Caribbean every year to pay for YouTube, Netflix, etc., Facebook, etc., etc. These are multi-billion heading into multi-trillion-dollar corporations, getting revenues from all people. Yes, providing services to all people. Tax absolutely free. And none of us are dealing with the negative, addictive, consequential challenges that we have to face. For every industry, there's always the good and the bad, right? If you have to deal with addiction issues and suicide issues, and the state has to provide the services, where is the state going to get the revenue from? It can't be from the tourism sector. It can't be from agriculture. We have to be able to say those digital platforms have to be subject to regulation and payment of taxes. This is not a simple domestic Grenada issue, Mr. Speaker. This is a regional, international fight for sovereignty between big tech, big digital services, and governments. These companies are so large, are so powerful, that they are almost becoming reminiscent of the new India East Company, where these companies were more powerful than the governments, where they were giving the governments loans. We are already there. So, Mr. Speaker, this is not merely about the question of whether or not a 15% VAT on digital services should or should not apply, because at the end, the individual end user who consumes something may or may not have to pay that rate. It is about the fact that the digital economy is an economy. And like all economies, it must be subject to state regulation, including taxation. Because if not, they become law unto themselves. They actually become sovereign. And what you have is billions of dollars being taken out of the economy with nothing being put back to, in fact, continue to service that economy. We have to bear in mind, Mr. Speaker, that cyberbullying, cybersecurity, all of those things need to be paid for. It has to be funded. So we all wish, including me, Mr. Speaker, that we don't have to pay tax. I think the deadline was end of March. It was extended to the end of April. And even the tax payment is now digital. It's online. And so the systems have to be paid for. The cybersecurity has to be paid for. Yes, it is more convenient. Yes, it is more efficient. Yes, it has led to an increase in tax compliance. But it also means that all of this has to be funded, Mr. Speaker. And from a strategic policy point of view, you would see, Mr. Speaker, not just Grenada, that all Caribbean islands and all countries are in fact going to be moving to ensuring that digital services fall under the umbrella of taxation, so that, again, you don't have a situation where it's only the traditional sectors of the country that are bearing the burden of taxation, while digital economy that is probably the fastest growing, the one that makes the most money, remains untaxed and continue to feed off the traditional services without contributing back to the economy, Mr. Speaker. And this is something, even in rural United States, there's a challenge, where you find people in those areas that are unable to get the quality of internet that the people in the cities get. And the only way to get that is to tax the big tech, the big internet companies in the cities, so that persons in the rural communities can get access to digital services as well, which is part of why we need to be able to tax this, Mr. Speaker. So I support the strategic policy initiative and the shift proposed by the Ministry of Finance. This is being done, Mr. Speaker, in keeping with international best practices, in keeping with support from international entities like the World Bank. And so, Mr. Speaker, while we certainly recognize that we always have to be very temperate in terms of the rates of tax, I don't think, Mr. Speaker, we could, given where the world is going, not have digital services fall under the umbrella or remain completely outside of the umbrella of the Value Added Tax Act. And in those circumstances, Mr. Speaker, I commend the bill to the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to express my gratitude to everyone who's made a contribution to the discussions on this bill. And I also observe this scholarly input on this bill, because, Mr. Speaker, we live in a time when we have to acquaint ourselves with knowledge and to equip ourselves for the future. And so it's all good when we can make these types of interventions so that we can, with good information, make decisions about the future of our country. That being said, Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend this bill to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader of Government Business. Honourable members, the question is that the bill be read a second time. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act shortly entitled Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House resolves itself into a committee of the whole House to consider this bill clause by clause. Thank you.
Honourable members, the question is that this Honourable House resolves itself into a committee of the whole House to consider the bill clause by clause. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. This Honourable House is now in committee.
Clause 2, amendment to Section 2 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 2 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 3, amendment to Section 6 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 3 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 4, insertion of new Section 8A in the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 4 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 5, insertion of new Section 9A in the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 5 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 6, amendment to Section 17 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 6 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 7, amendment to Section 18 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 7 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 8, insertion of new Section 22A in the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 8 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 9, amendment to Section 43 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 9 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 10, amendment to Section 67 of the Principal Act.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 10 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Clause 11, savings and transitional.
Honourable members, the question is that Clause 11 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it indeed. The ayes have it.
Clause 1, short title and commencement.
Honorable members, the question is that clause 1 forms part of the bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I beg to move that the House resumes and that the chairman of the committee reports progress on the bill. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the House resumes and that the chairman of the committee reports progress on the bill. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. This Honorable House now resumes. Honorable members, I have to report that the bill was considered by a committee of the whole House and passed without amendment. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the chairman's report be adopted.
Honorable members, the question is that the chairman's report be adopted. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it indeed. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the third reading of the bill.
Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a third time. Honorable members, the question is that the bill be read a third time and passed. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
A bill for an act shortly entitled Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2026.
Item 16, request for leave to move the adjournment of the House on matters of urgent public importance.
Do you have Government Business? Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Honorable House be adjourned. Sign it out. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Leader of Government Business. I've seen the light of the MP, but at this point, I now invite the Honorable MP for the Anjou Southwest to distribute that which she brought to distribute. After which the Honorable MP for St. Andrews Northeast will take the floor. All right, as soon as the Honorable MP can. Okay. That's the final package. I now invite the Honorable MP for St. Andrew North East to take the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I rise at this time with a deep sense of sorrow to mark the passing of my former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Mr. Norman Gilbert. We all know that Mr. Gilbert was the embodiment of what it means to be a committed and principled public servant. And during the time I had the privilege to work with him as a Minister for Youth, I relied heavily on his steady guidance, his institutional knowledge, and his unwavering dedication to our young people. It was as a result of that, Mr. Speaker, I requested of the then Prime Minister that he should be given the opportunity to act in the position of permanent secretary. And when that position was reverted, I know it was a loss for youth development. Mr. Gilbert was very calm and very thoughtful in his approach to leadership within the Ministry of Youth, and even in challenging times, he worked very hard and he was very focused and purposeful. His professionalism, integrity, and humility earned him the respect of everyone who had the opportunity to work alongside him. Mr. Speaker, the public service has lost a stalwart. Our nation has lost a man who worked quietly but effectively behind the scenes, shaping policies and programs that touch the lives of many young people. On a personal note, Mr. Speaker, I wish to express my sincerest gratitude for the support he gave me during my time at the Ministry for Youth. And at this time, I do want to express deepest condolences to his family, his loved ones, and all of his colleagues in the public service. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MP, for St. Andrew North East. Is it the go ahead, Leader of Government Business?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I too wish to join my voice to express condolences to the Gilbert family and to offer condolences. Mr. Speaker, I am particularly concerned that on the occasion of a goodwill gesture by the Minister for Agriculture, distributing these potatoes that were farmed by our hard-working farmers, that a member of this House would stand to say that the member is skeptical, thereby imputing improper motives and skeptical about receiving these potatoes at the hand of a minister in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, discipline, self-control, honor, these are things, Mr. Speaker, that we have to embrace as honorable members of this House. I did not want to interrupt the member because we've had a very good parliament. And I believe we are an example to all of the Caribbean, the manner in which this parliament is conducted, and maybe for the entire world. But we have to maintain discipline, Mr. Speaker. And the member is imputing improper motive. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting of you to have a member for St. Andrew Northeast withdraw her statement in respect of that improper motive that is imputed. Thank you.
Honorable member, you perhaps heard what you heard. Can you repeat it? I didn't really hear what was said. I didn't hear what was said by the honorable member. I didn't hear what was said. That's my problem.
Mr. Speaker, the member held the potatoes in her hand.
Yes.
And she said it is difficult for her to accept these potatoes, given the fact that we still have not found the person or identified person, something to that effect, who put this something or substance into Nealon's drink, referring to the past senator.
You said she said that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Okay, Honorable MP, you heard. Honorable MP for St. Mark,
Thank you, Mr.
are you,
Speaker.
are you standing to bring clarity? Because the matter is,
Mr. Speaker.
the matter raised has to do with the other Honorable MP. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, you are the adjudicator in this matter. Normally, the person speaking would like put on their microphone and speak to the microphone so that you can hear, so that the records can hear, so that when the minutes are written, these are reflected. At this particular time, the member may have said something, may not have said, but how do you adjudicate on something that you did not hear? So, Mr. Speaker, I raised it before you made the decision because I just want to advise on reason. If the member said people say things between them, people say things off the microphone, off the records all the time, nobody pulls them up, and it happens on this side, it happens on the other side. So how is the leader of government business now pressuring the speaker to make a judgment on something that he didn't hear? I await to hear what the decision is, Mr. Speaker.
No, Honorable MP, we have to watch our words in this House. Right? He's not pressuring the speaker. I want us to watch our words. My question to the Honorable MP, you listen to what the leader of government business said as to what you repeated in this Honorable House. Is that so? Honorable MP for St. Andrew Northeast.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your intervention on this matter. What I said, Mr. Speaker, was off mic. Clearly, it was not for the record, and that is the reason why you did not hear it, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
No, my question is, you heard what the Honorable MP said. I'm asking you if what he said is correct.
Not accurately. That's not exactly what I said.
Okay. All right, we have no records. Honorable Minister?
Honorable Mr. Speaker, normally I let these things fly. But I, like the leader of government business, want to say this. The member stood, she didn't sit. She said, I am not putting on the mic. And then proceeded to say, of and in relation to the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southwest, who with your leave, and in the context of showing that the Ministry of Agriculture was successful in the production and growth of white potatoes, that she was skeptical of receiving these potatoes because they didn't find the person who put the thing in Nealon's drink as yet. If in this house, we could say deliberately, I'm not putting on the mic, and then go on to make statements that frankly does impute a proper motive to the member of St. Andrew Southwest by suggesting that he would distribute items to fellow members of this house that has the potential to kill them. If that isn't imputing improper motive, and if the response is, I said it off the record because I didn't put on the mic, if that doesn't bring this entire house into disrepute, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what is. And for the member to not apologize, frankly, and said perhaps it was meant as a joke but done in bad taste, is completely, Mr. Speaker, unacceptable. And I'm going on record to say it. And it is even more so, Mr. Speaker, in light of the fact that what followed on record was remarks pertaining to the passing of a former senior public servant. It is completely, Mr. Speaker, uncalled for, unprovoked, and unnecessary. And like the leader of government business, I join with the calling for saying statements should be taken back and be taken back on record. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of His Majesty Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I listened to the contributions on this matter, and it is quite common, and we can go back to find various examples, that members of this House will make comments in between presentations, while presentations are going on, and sometimes very disrespectful, and sometimes very little is said about it. But I don't know, the potatoes were placed on the table in front of me. As you notice, I did not accept it, as in putting my hand out. I allowed him. And while he was doing it, I actually said to the member that you should have a little conversation with Mr. I encouraged him with Mr. Church as it relates to one of the recommendations as it relates to potato production. I'm happy for potato production, Irish potato production. It's something that was tried on the previous administration. There's a report in the Ministry of Agriculture as it relates to what is recommended and what is not recommended, etc. There's a report there in that regard. And while he was doing it in good faith, I said to him, you should have a little chat with Mr. Church on it, in very good faith. Mr. Speaker, my intention is that as I was leaving to give this to someone who may want to consume it. I would not throw it away, obviously. But Mr. Speaker, to think that I would actually take this bag of potatoes and that I will cook it and I will eat it is to say that you don't expect a lot of us on this side. The reality, Mr. Speaker, is just what it is. And it makes a very fundamental point as to the kind of politics and the level of politics in our country at this time. So, Mr. Speaker, whether you're on blue side, you're on green side, you're on red side, you're on yellow side, whichever side you're on, Mr. Speaker, we have to accept that there is something that has happened, particularly in our recent history in the politics, that raises serious concern about security and safety. And we cannot hide or run away from the fact. I did not stand to say that I would not eat it, and I won't. But I would give it to someone who would choose to eat it. So I have no problem at all with potato production and encouraging potato production. But, Mr. Speaker, I don't see a fundamental problem with the comment that the member made. As a matter of fact, the fact that she made it offer, I never even thought that she was referring to the particular member in question. And she, I believe, Mr. Speaker, was expressing her own concern about her own personal safety. And do you have a right to do so? Of course. So, Mr. Speaker, we can go on and on. You had someone in this house, Mr. Speaker, taking a camera.
Honorable,
and
just stick to the
recording
issue
member.
before us. Just stick to the issue before us.
And I'm just saying
Please.
how we should all be concerned about safety. Whether it is safety to do with our personal lives, safety to do with our personal records, I am saying until now, we were told that an investigation was going to be presented as it relates to the result, personal protection and safety in the house. If you don't even feel that level of comfort and safety, Mr. Speaker, it's cause for concern. And there are certain statements that have been made publicly in recent times by people who are associated with persons. I mean, I didn't plan to speak about this, but Mr. Speaker, I don't at all have reservation that this member will be concerned about her personal safety and would speak with regards to what she feels in that regard. She didn't disrespect you, she did not disrespect the House, in my opinion. And she stated very clearly off the record.
All right. Honorable MP?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I really didn't plan to say anything, but Mr. Speaker, I think what I just listened to and all colleagues listened to is a clear case of deflection. Mr. Speaker, the leader of His Majesty's opposition is standing here to make the issue about receiving the potatoes. The potatoes is not the issue. The member can take the potatoes, she can throw it if she wishes, she can get rid of it. The statement she made in the opening, whether the microphone was on or off, was made in this honorable house here today. And it was made quite in a manner to impute that the potatoes that she received is under her scrutiny because nobody found who put whatever in Nilon's drink. Disgusting. Disgusting. And to make this statement at a time when Grenada is in a position now to produce white potato at its quantities is just out of whack. But it shows, and the member, the leader of His Majesty's opposition, spoke about the level of the politics. The level of the politics that is disgusting is on one side. You look at characters that are online as mouthpieces for the opposition, Mr. Speaker, and they make the similar statements just like the member has made here today. But it shows where they want to bring the politics. And the fact that they cannot quality or give quality debates, it always had to revolve around reducing our standard, saying all these disgusting things. It's one thing if you don't want to accept the potatoes, give it to somebody who needs it. You just raise concerns about cost of living. I'm sure you could go and give it to somebody who needs it, right? But, Mr. Speaker, I am saying to the honorable member for St. Andrew Northeast, She stood in this honorable house and made this disgusting statement about Neilon's death, trying to put it into comparison with receiving the potatoes. She should just apologize on that matter. It has nothing to do with withdrawal. She stood and she made this statement in a sitting. Not after, in a sitting. So she should withdraw it, and the leader of His Majesty's opposition shouldn't just side with her, but should ask her quietly, just withdraw the statement or apologize for the statement. This is importance. It has nothing to do with not wanting to receive the potato. You can do as you please. But you can make such statements here and then justify it by saying the politics is at an all-time low that you creating and bringing it down to that all-time low. Yes. It's disgusting. This is not the kind of representation that we want our young people to see and want to follow. We should try to change it. Whether or not it's said out there, we shouldn't come in this honorable house and make these vulgar statements because it's vulgar and it's beneath a sitting member to make such statements. You have absolutely no proof. You can provide no evidence to the statements that you're making about thing in drink. But yet for all, you're trying to compare it by just receiving some potatoes. You have all right to do whatever you want with the potatoes afterward. But come on, man. That's not nice at all. That's not nice at all. That's not nice at all, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MP for St. George Northeast. The Honorable MP, you heard the members on this side. The call for an apology, the call for a withdrawal. What is your position? Like I said, I didn't hear you, but you heard the response. What's your position, Honorable MP?
Mr. Speaker, I've made it clear already that if they can bring their Hansard to say exactly what I said, and they need that to be withdrawn, then so be it. I did not do anything with intention to cause harm to anyone, and that's it.
All right, leader of government business.
Yes.
I'm trying to close on this, but go ahead.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we can close after we receive the Hansard. So yeah, I do call for the Hansard so that we can all hear the statement.
Okay, you think it's
Because
recorded?
it was loud enough to penetrate the wall that you sitting in front. So it will be recorded on the Hansard. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, honorable members, we will pause for, yes, we do pause. We take a brief recess as we try to access the information from the Hansard. Please be seated. Honourable members, we did take a brief recess to access the Hansard, but I was informed that the Hansard didn't record the statement. It didn't pick up. So it's unfortunate that the court, I didn't hear exactly what was said. The members clearly seem to be very clear as to what was said. But the reason the mic needs to be on is for a reason, right? So I think we have to be very strict about speaking with the mic off or turning off the mic to speak. Because here we are, a member is saying one, and other members are saying that they heard something different. Without the benefit of the Hansard, it's very difficult for us to rule on the matter. So I now invite you, the PMs? The PM to take the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make the point here that the member never denied making the statement. The member never denied making the statement. All that happened is she was in fact quite clear, tactical by saying, and she said so, I'm keeping the mic off, and then proceeded to make a statement. All right? And I'm saying, therefore, as members in this House, Hansard or no Hansard, it is not proper, based on those standing orders, to impute a proper motive to a member. If it was meant initially to be a jest or some joke, it is a terrible one. And the humble and correct thing to have done was to simply withdraw the statement. If we're going to hide behind whether it's on Hansard or not, then the decorum of this House will clearly be brought into disrepute, because I could take them and say, what do I want to say? Impute what kind of motive to a member? On your feet. On your feet. And then we're going to say, well, the mic was not. If that is the approach we are going to take with this House, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying we collectively, forget the politics, we're in the House, we collectively would be responsible for clearly inappropriate behavior. And I'm on the record as stating my view on this. This has nothing to do with Hansard. This has to do with inappropriate, improper language from one member in relation to what was a mere kind gesture from another member. And that's all this is about, Mr. Speaker. Unless this is a place that has no rules, and you can take the mic off and say or do anything what you want. Because it seems to me that's the conclusion we're getting to. If the member denied the statement, or denied the paraphrasing, then I could understand Hansard matters. Where the member isn't denying it, where the leader of His Majesty's opposition is saying, I see nothing wrong with the statement made by the member, right? And she wasn't, then it's clearly saying that we're saying they made the statement. The only issue here is whether or not it is on Hansard or not. So I'm recommending, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this since you are in control of the House, and since there is no disagreement that the statement was made, to simply say, well, it's not on Hansard, and so we can't treat it in my Mr. Speaker is falling respectfully, woefully short of what's required of all of us. In the House. Thank you.
All right, before we proceed, I would just like to repeat that which I said. I indicated to this Honorable House that I didn't hear what was said by the MP. I made that very clear up front. I asked the MP to comment on what was said. Her response was, this is not exactly what was said. And I am the person who have to rule. I haven't not heard, and the Hansard not having recorded makes it very, very difficult for me to rule. I just invite Honorable Leader of Government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of our goals is to lift the standard of debate in this House.
Correct.
And so we on this side always try to do our best to ensure that we keep it that way. This morning, Mr. Speaker, what I thought was so beautiful, recognizing the benefit of research work and the hard work of our farmers and the potential for creating a whole new industry and for eliminating or reducing imports in our country, and to be able to show the brotherliness, despite our political difference, to be able to reach across the aisle to give a package. Whether or not you want to use it, it's up to you. I thought, Mr. Speaker, we dropped the ball because this is not about us. We're not here representing ourselves. The constituents whom we represent. So I really thought, Mr. Speaker, that we dropped the ball miserably and we confused a great gesture, a great show of statesmanship by using words that really should never find its way on our lips or even in this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I heard you and I respect your position. I respect the member's position and the fact that it is not recorded on the Hansard. I also respect that. And so I humbly have no choice but to accept that the member's position is what it is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of Government Business. We had the motion for the adjournment. We are just at the point where we having discussions on the adjournment. If there are no further interventions or inputs, Honorable MP for St. Andrews South West.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am profoundly hurt. I am profoundly saddened by the statement made by the member. It pains me. It really pains me. I've been given a job to serve my country and my people, and I've been trying to do so with cleanliness, with purity, with divinity of heart and mind. Mr. Speaker, I carry no evil in my heart for no one and for nothing. I pray for good things for all of our people. And I have never been so hurt in my life, out of my benevolence, out of my goodwill, to hear such derogatory and far from complimentary vocabulary to minimize the integrity of a personality whose sacrifices and hard work would have contributed tremendously to the social and economic transformation of our homeland and our people, and to bring good values in each and every one of us. Mr. Speaker, I'm hurt. I'm very, very much hurt by this. I don't often cry, but I'm crying inside, Mr. Speaker. My action was all geared with intentions, but as Karl Marx once wrote, the road to hell is sometimes paved with good intention. And it surprised me really, because I know the member very well. I know her a long time ago. She's my friend. I make joke with her. We just laugh. I can't understand it, Mr. Speaker. I really, really can't understand it. I don't like it. I don't understand it. We are not, I don't think as Grenadians we are bad people. We're not bad people. We may do a few wrong things, but we're not bad people. I think by nature we are a good people. And it is a good that we have to project and promote and spread and leave out such negatives among us. You know, it's a time that we work towards building a society that is clean, that is divine, and that is pure, where evil doesn't exist and where wrong doesn't exist. And, you know, Mr. Speaker, I am unhappy. I am very, very unhappy with those words this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. MP for St. Andrews South West. I now put the question to the floor. Honourable members, the question is that this Honourable House be adjourned sine die. All those in favour say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it indeed. The ayes have it. This Honourable House now stands adjourned sine die.